how can we get the teachers to trust us? And that's a question I hear all the time. People want to know, how do I get trust in place? And I do think trust is absolutely critical. We did a study a few years ago in Florida when there was a program there called Just Read Florida. And we interviewed, we went actually and worked with the state, and we had started with a pool of about 1,600 coaches. We narrowed it down to 30 some odd coaches, and then we took that 30 some odd coaches and narrowed it down to 5, and we were looking for truly exceptional coaches, called the Great Coaching Study. 9 of us went down. We interviewed the coaches, the teachers, the principal, the supervisor of the coaches. We wanted to find out, what was happening when we had great coaching going on. And if we took all those transcripts of all those interviews and we loaded them into a Wordle, the word that would be at the heart of the thing would be trust. It came up again and again and again. It's critical that I trust the coach. I trust that coach. If I didn't trust the coach, I wouldn't work with her. So what is trust? Well, I've spent a lot of time looking at trust and reading about it and analyzing it and discussing it. And I've sort of narrowed it down to a few characteristics. First off, and maybe most importantly, we trust somebody when we think they are going to be safe to be with. I refer to this as stewardship, that I believe the other person is benevolent towards us. But as one person I interviewed said, the simple way to put it, if you don't mind me putting it this way, is I need to know that person's not going to screw me over. I need to know that I'm safe with that person. Second thing is, to build trust, I have to feel that the person I'm talking to is going to help me out, that they're competent, that they have skills that will help me improve. It's great to have a person who is kindly towards me and wants me to succeed, but I'd also like them to be able to deliver on their promises. And so competence is critical, and competence for a coach means you know what good teaching looks like, and you can move through the process of helping a person succeed in an efficient way. That's critical. Then you're reliable. It's not really helpful if you don't deliver when you said you're going to deliver, and the heart of that is to be a person who under-promises and over-delivers. If you do the opposite, pretty quickly people will know I can't count on that person to do what they said, to be reliable. The next thing is a pretty straightforward thing, and that is that the person treats us with warmth. We're more likely to trust somebody who's kind towards us, who listens to us, who is positive, than we will be with Mr. Grumpy. Now, having said that, if I know Mr. Grumpy cares about me and he can deliver on his promises, I still might trust him, but it would be easier if the person embodied warmth. And the last thing is kind of an obvious thing, but character. If you are dishonest, you will be found out. And when you're found out, there goes all the trust. The other thing about dishonesty or character is often it's eroding trust even before your secrets are found out. And so you have to be a person of character to be in a position of leadership if you really want people to trust you. Like I said, trust is critical. When trust is in place, great things can happen. When trust isn't in place, not much is going to happen. I'll give you one little example of this. I really believe in the power of video. I talk about how video can help people all the time, and wrote a book on it called Focus on Teaching. And so people always say to me, well, how do you get the teachers to trust you or to use the video? How do you get them to use the video? And I went back to our first coaches we work with in Beaverton, Oregon, and I said, how did you get the teachers to use the video? And they said, they did it because they trusted us. So if they don't want to use the camera is not the issue. The issue is lack of trust. It's not about the camera. It's about trust. That's how critical it is to do all this work. So I did encourage you to think about these things. I read about them in Better Conversations, but there are lots of other great books on trust. But to really think about, and if you wanted to narrow it down to 2 things, competence, benevolence. If I really believe the person's safe, I guess part of that is your character. And I believe they can help me. Chances are I'll trust that person.